Hi, I'm Reverend Tom Kearns. Welcome to 333 Magic 9, where the tarot cards and the astrology stars come together to help you. 2024 is going to be an exciting year with a lot of change and a lot of opportunity. And here's the energy that will be coming at you. I hope you will like this video and also press the little bell for notifications when my new videos come out. Scorpio, the tarot card for the first quarter is the Fool. It shows a young man who is headed for the future. He is traveling with only a staff over his shoulder and a rose in his hand. On his staff is a small bag that contains what he needs. And there is a small dog at his feet that represents instinctive guidance. He is looking to the sky, showing future potential, but he may lack some practicality. Now, as we look into the astrology, January begins with a warning to be careful because the first week has squares from Mercury and Venus to Saturn and Neptune. And that can bring confusion with money and personal investments, and also some issues with perhaps creativity and romance. Uranus will go direct on the 27th in the 7th house. So this is a time to evaluate your relationships or maybe begin a new one. The Sun conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius on the 20th in your 4th house, and that can expose some secrets that may be frustrating your security. As we move into February, it starts nice, but it gets bumpy as Mars will conjunct Pluto on the 14th. That's a powerful aspect. So watch the emotional issues at home and in the career area. The 22nd through the 25th may find you seeking exciting personal relationships, but running into some disappointment. And as we move into March, it starts with a bang, as Venus will square Uranus in your 7th house, so don't be too independent in business or personal relationships. And then Mars will square Uranus, exposing destructive willfulness. And Neptune and Pisces in your 5th may have you bringing romantic fantasies to the surface. Just keep them a little bit realistic. The tarot card for the second quarter is the Knight of Cups. It shows a man in armor seated on a white horse. He extends a cup out before him. His helmet signifies imagination, and water is behind him. He suggests inspiration, creativity, and emotion. You may receive an offer that has a positive emotional impact, and maybe some love or romance is in the air. Now, as we move into the second quarter, April begins with a total solar eclipse and Mercury retrograde in your 6th house. So this can bring some work and communication challenges. And do not allow pleasure to rule, as Venus and Mars will conjunct Neptune in the 5th house. And that can bring some confusion to romance. Unusual energies come when Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in the 7th house of relationships. And the Sun squares Pluto over the 20th. So you might have to make some adjustments in your personal relationships. As we move into May, Mars, up in the 6th house now, energizes your work schedule on the 1st. But Pluto in the 4th house warned you not to forget your responsibilities at home. The Sun and Venus will conjunct Uranus up in the 7th house. So listen to your partners, as Mercury will conjunct Uranus and bring new ideas. And Jupiter, now up in the 8th house, enhances your intuition and ability to regenerate. Now, as we go into June, it starts with messages flying all over the place. And it may become a challenge, especially when difficult energy affects your 8th house. Saturn will turn retrograde at the end of the month in the 5th house. And that demands that you control your need for pleasure and be careful in romance. The tarot card for the 3rd quarter is the Death card. It suggests the ever-changing cycles of nature, with beginnings becoming endings and endings becoming beginnings. Your world is changing, but it's also full of new potential. So don't be stuck in the past. Keep the faith, go through the changes, and move to the future. Now, as we look into the astrology, the 3rd quarter begins with Neptune joining Saturn retrograde in your 5th house in July, creating confusion in romance. Now, Venus and Mercury may help and make communications more exciting, but Mars conjunct Uranus in the 7th house, followed by a square to Mercury up in the 10th house, can disrupt personal and business relationships. So do be careful with what you say and how you say it. As we move to August, Mercury goes retrograde in the 11th house, and this can disrupt business networking. And mid-month is a little volatile as Mars in the 8th house will be squared to Saturn and conjunct Jupiter. So control yourself in intimate situations or you may make some mistakes. And Saturn in the 5th house may affect your ability to give and receive warmth. As we move into September, the Sun is now in Virgo and your 11th house, and that creates a need for you to spend some time networking with other people. But do be aware, especially around the lunar eclipse, which will happen in your 5th house on the 18th. And that can really upset the emotions of your main squeeze. So stay focused so you can understand their needs and be extra careful when trying to understand emotional outbreaks. The tarot card for the 4th quarter is the 4 of Wands. This is one of the happiest cards in the tarot deck. It combines the energy of the 4, which represents positive energy on the material plane, with the Wands that represent happiness and expression. This suggests a good time for success in material and spiritual concerns. There may be a romance or a marriage in the air. Now, as we look down into the 4th quarter, Jupiter goes retrograde in your 8th house, causing you to rethink your joint investments and intimacy. Pluto going direct in the 3rd will help you gain some knowledge. And that will be knowledge that you can need and can be useful. And there will be a grand trine in water signs, and mixed aspects will keep everyone's emotions flowing. So join them and go with the flow. Now, as we move into November, there is tension in the air as Mars in the 9th house will oppose Pluto in the 3rd, warning of people who are trying to manipulate with words. This is followed by the Sun in the 1st house in opposition to Uranus in the 7th. So balance your needs and your partners. Be more understanding. And Mercury will go retrograde in the 2nd house. So adjust the way you're handling your money and resources. And as we move into December, Mars will go retrograde up in the 10th house, asking you to discipline your energy in career situations. But Neptune will go direct in the 5th, and that brings more romance and pleasure into your life. And Venus in the 4th house will oppose Mars in the 10th. So balance your home and career responsibilities. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank you for listening. Please like my videos and share them with your friends. And remember, this is the best time to prepare for 2024 with a private psychic and spiritual reading or a natal transit astrology chart. And you can order them at my website, professorastrology.com. And I hope you have a fabulous new year.